You're about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Well, not earth-shattering news, but another study has come out looking at our screen time. And one of the big health headlines today is screen time in bed linked to worse sleep. Again, this isn't really groundbreaking. I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, well, no, duh. Yeah, but yeah, it's a health headline, so let's just cover it. Okay, so I feel like I'm doing my job. But there are some things I want to add to this. So this was research based on a Norwegian survey of more than 45,000 students. And they looked at those who would look at the screen in bed. So we're not talking so much about your overall daytime Candy Crush playing like I do. It's when you're in bed, you're going on your telephone or your screen. And they say for each additional hour of screen time, it was linked to a 63% increase in insomnia risk and 24 minutes less sleep. Now, according to BBC News, the researchers said they had only established a correlation between screen use and lower sleep quality and had not demonstrated that the former caused the latter. But they suggest that if you do put your phone away, do something else relaxing. Now, this is something that I've noticed, and please don't do as I say, all right, or as I do. Don't do as I do. But I notice when I have trouble sleeping and I'm up and I'm lying there, I either get up and do some work or I go to my phone and I play a game. And it actually helps me fall back asleep. So what's going on there? So I will always be of the mindset to tell you avoid the cell phone, avoid the smartphone when you're in bed, because obviously you're getting a text or there's something that reminds you of work or you see something funny. Like I cannot look at funny memes and funny videos before I go to bed. If I start to giggle and laugh, I can't sleep. I'm revved up. And so my husband's like, oh, this is funny. Check this out. I go, don't show it to me. I cannot laugh before I go to sleep. That's just me. But if it's something monotonous and soothing, like for me, Candy Crush helps me sleep. It shouldn't. It's bright. It's fluorescent. I think it probably can give you a migraine because of the lights are so bright. But it's the chocolate part of it that I guess makes me relaxed. And I'm able to turn it off. So the reason why all these studies about screens and computer use and TV are linked to insomnia is because, one, it's triggering the brain. It's the light. It's the colors. It's the excitatory responses of your synapses when these things are very charging when you look at them. But it's also, it starts to make your mind think of things. And for you to be tired and have a good night's sleep, you have to refocus your brain. Some of us can't do it. We're always going to, I'm thinking about my next show. I'm thinking about my mom. I'm thinking about family members that are having health issues. I'm thinking about, just the news, everything. I'm just always thinking, always worrying. But when you're able to turn it off, and I'm like, I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to imagine being in Rivendell with Aragorn and decide to spend the rest of my life with him. I get calm. My mind starts to go into a nice deep slumber. I might have to fight off a couple orcs every now and then. But for the most part, I could come up with a happy place that will hopefully tune everything else out. And that's the key to being able to fall asleep, to be able to calm your mind, slow the brain waves. And it's not easy. I still struggle with sleep because sometimes I don't want to think about, Lord of the Rings. Sometimes I want to think about Jimmy Garoppolo, but where is Jimmy Garoppolo? What's going on? Oh my gosh, what's happening with football? And then all of a sudden my mind starts to wander. So, yeah, screen time, screens affect people's sleep. Why is this important? Why is this another headline? Well, one is we have a huge epidemic and pandemic, I should say, of people needing sleep aids and using sleep medication. We have people addicted to their phones and they can't shut their phones off. They can't put their phones down. We are bombarding our retinas with the light from these phones that are keeping us awake. People are addicted to sleeping medications. And these over-the-counter sleep aids that are antihistamines have been linked to dementia risk for long-term use. So we need to figure something out. And as we're going more and more towards computers and more towards our smartphones, and people say, Daliah, just get your movie ticket on your phone. Check your stocks on your phone. Boarding passes. I still like to print the boarding pass. And I love trees. I want to protect trees and paper. But it just, if my phone doesn't load, now the app is working great, but I had trouble with the app. So I like running around with a paper boarding pass. But everybody's saying, what are you doing? Go to your app. Go to your app. I don't want to use my app for everything. I don't want to always go to my phone. I'm still blown away by the idea that you need your smartphone for your Tesla. I mean, that blows my mind. Randy actually wrote when I was talking about Teslas and how my friend lost his phone. And then when he hiked, he didn't realize he lost his phone until he hiked back to his Tesla and couldn't get in. Randy said, you wondered about using a Tesla if your smartphone battery is dead. He says, I wonder about a woman trying to escape an attack in a car that senses objects in its path and activates the brakes, rendering the car trap that favors a stalker or domestic abuser. So Randy brings up a good point. We're really relying on tech, and we're thinking tech is making things better, but when you're in an emergency, it doesn't. So for those of you who struggle to sleep, put the phones down. No tablets, none of that for 2-3 hours before you go to bed. 1-877-DOC-DALI.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell our listeners who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me join you to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now and find out how much your case is potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. If you think you deserve compensation, call now to find out how much you qualify for. 800-710-5100.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
diesel fuel cetane levels.
The cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Dali, 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer. And big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on X or Twitter at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So one of the biggest mysteries on earth, it's not the meaning of life. I already know what the meaning of life is. The meaning of life is this is a job interview. God's watching us. He's looking at what we're doing, and then he's deciding where to put us in heaven. You know, I might be in shipping and receiving. Maybe I'm in communications. I don't know. But if he needs us up there, we go. If he doesn't need us yet, or he thinks, you know, we're going to kind of mess some things up, he's going to maybe keep us on earth. That's not the biggest mystery for me in life. The biggest mystery I will never understand fully is how you can have kids that look at you, you know, as you are a goddess. You are mommy. They need you. Mommy, where are you? Mommy, you are their whole world. To then going from, oh, God, mom's calling. Oh, no. I don't want to talk to mom. Oh, no. Mom, we don't need your opinion. I don't understand that. And it happens pretty quickly. And it starts in the puberty years. Then you never get it back. And you're like, wait a second here. You just 5 months ago was like, Mommy, I need you. Biggest to me mystery I'll never be able to unravel and figure out. But I have been very, very fortunate with my kids. And even though, yes, I am probably a pain in the butt, and I'm sure if I do text them, they're like, oh, gosh, Mom's texting again. For the most part, though, I'm pretty close. And one of you had asked, you know, how did I do that? Because you saw me traveling with my son. I travel a lot with one of my sons. And I'm starting to do that more often now. And how is he putting up with me? How am I putting up with him? You know, and it's amazing because with one of my sons, we travel really well together. And I even tell him, I go, look, you do your own thing. If you want to do, and it's like, no, I want to do this with you. He actually likes spending time with me. I'm starting to get that back. My other son is in college, and he's hitting midterms and all that, so I don't put the pressure on to make him go and travel with me. But my other son, if he has work trips or if I have a work trip or whatever, and he's off that weekend and his girlfriend's working, so she can't come, then he comes with me. And it's been really, really nice. Now, what do I do? And I am no expert on relationships by any means, but there's a few things I do that helps. And I'm going to give you some advice from another doctor's advice. But for me, what I've done is I've kind of done the opposite of what I've seen patients and family members do. So I didn't really hit them. No beatings, none of that stuff. I always explained why I was angry, what made me mad. It wasn't that I had a bad day or I was PMSing like a lot of times people accuse you of. It's, look, this is why I'm mad. Because, you know, you're not preparing, you're going to do stupid, it's dangerous. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. But a big thing that I notice my boys like is not being treated like kids. Not me trying to control them and telling them what to do. I'm not going to tell them what to do. You know, I'm going to make suggestions. And every now and then I might put on the mommy mask, right? Mommy hat, saying, you know, make sure you eat your vegetables and things like that or whatever. But for the most part, they're adults. And they might want to be, you know, I mean, everybody's like, oh, everybody wants to be babied and all that. No, not from their mommy. They might want that from their relationships, but no. Okay, mommy, you're now a whole different entity. And you're somebody with wisdom. And you're also somebody that will have my best interest at stake. And I have made sure my kids know that there are no ulterior motives. Moms or dads will lose their trust if, one, they hurt the kids, either physically by beating them or by doing something to them that affected their lives. A decision they made, gambling, cheating, whatever. Once you hurt those kids, it's kind of hard to get that relationship back. So you need to, and then if there was something you did that might have altered a course they could take, that was your fault, own up to it. And say, look, I'm not perfect. I wanted to be a perfect parent. If I could go back in time, maybe I wouldn't have made this decision. And then you would have been living in this state or this or whatever, but God had a plan. I made that decision. I'm not always going to be 100%. I wasn't. I own up to it. Sometimes the kids will, listen to that. Luckily, I didn't make any mistakes, so good. But if I do make a mistake, I am very quick to say my bad. Because I want that trust. I love that they can trust my opinion. They might not always follow it, but they know that if they need an unbiased opinion, they could go to mommy. Now, where do they think I'm going to be biased? Where I would love to have them still stay in America. I don't want them to work overseas, and I hardly see them, And I'm not really happy about them moving across the country. But I tell them I want you happy. And if this is a job and it's a great job you can have across the country, I'm going to support you. And I'm going to give you advice. I'm not going to give you advice that screws up your chance of getting that job. But if they thought I was doing that because I just want them to live near me, I've lost all trust. And so your kids are going to want to be around you when they feel they don't have a lot of people on their side, when they feel like there's no trust. Now, many of us come from families where some of the most distrustful people are your family members. And that sucks. So a lot of people, when they hear family, they go, family's the least people I could trust. And I get that. But if it's just between you and your kids, they have to be able to trust you. And knowing that you're going to give them the best advice, knowing that you're going to offer your wisdom and say, look, this is what I went through. But also, a big thing that helped me connect with my kids is I didn't do this Gen X thing going, well, this is how it is. This is how I walked uphill both ways in the snow. I don't do that. I go, you guys have a much different landscape than I did. You guys actually have it harder. And once I showed that I understood some of their issues that they now have with AI possibly taking over jobs, of how they could be on a date with somebody and then years from now they could say, that they were assaulted. And so I get that this is a very different time than it was. And so once I acknowledge that, then they could go, well, wait a second. Okay, I'm not talking to somebody who's completely, out of the loop. I don't have to retrain them or teach them. They get it. Now, this expert, where does this come from? This is a Rena Ruda from CNBC. They say she studied over 200 kids, parents who have the closest relationships with their adult kids, and they say do 7 things early on. 1, let them know their feelings matter. Oh, that's right. If somebody is grumpy about something, I always, validate it. Go, I understand why you're mad. I'd be mad too. Because if you say, quit crying, that's what I was told growing up. Quit crying, you're being a crybaby. Sometimes that just doesn't work. And then they're going to feel like they have to hide the crying. They have to feel like they have to hide being upset about something. You want them, if they're upset about something, you want them to feel like they could come to you. So I agree with that. Choose connection over control. That's right. Don't control your kids. They're adults. Don't demand obedience, but establish trust, which I just said. Give them a voice in their own life. Absolutely. Let if I ever made a decision for my kid's life, I would feel guilty if it went wrong. They need to make their own decision, even if it's a bad one. But you say, look, this is the advice I got. This is the advice I can give you, but only you can trust your judgment. You can trust your instinct, because sometimes I'm not always right. And that works really well. Own your own mistakes. I said that also. Make quality time together a daily habit. That's when they're younger. Let them be themselves without judgment. Protect the relationship over being right. So this is interesting. If I'm right, I want people to know. Now, but it's not worth hurting the relationship over. Just because I'm right doesn't mean it's the correct path for somebody. And so like somebody say, Daliah, you actually left your medical office part-time to go and start another career in radio. Well, people thought that was the stupidest thing, especially my listeners that have to listen to my show. They're like, Daliah, can you just go back to medicine full time? No, okay, I like what I did, okay? And sorry, you still have to listen to me. Tough. But for me, it was the right decision. Somebody could say, well, that's not the right decision because you're making less money. You're trying to balance. No, but for me, it was the right decision. So you can have a great, close relationship with the kids. Just don't hurt them. And if you did hurt them, you better make amends. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So over the past few years, when Biden wanted to encourage electric vehicles, Newsom wanted California to be zero emissions by 2035 or whatever goal he had, a lot of people jumped on board. Many of them were Democrats. And you got a great car. It was a beautiful car. It was expensive, a little too rich for my blood. I did not buy an electric vehicle. Kind of like my fuel-injected Corvette. I love my Corvette. Going to kind of stick with that for a little while longer. But many of my friends and colleagues who went and bought electric vehicles, that's something you guys wanted to do. Whether you did it to support Newsom, whether you did it, one of my friends lives in California. They have his and her Teslas. And, that's something, he loves his Tesla. In fact, he let me drive his Tesla around. I'm like, this is pretty cool. If they want to support Newsom, if they wanted to support Biden, if they wanted to support, that's their choice. Well, you guys are being targeted now. And you're being targeted by people in the same party as you. Pretty ridiculous. Why? Because all of a sudden people decided they don't like Elon Musk. And now that Elon Musk is working closely with Trump and doing Doge and trying to find waste, fraud, abuse, all of a sudden you are now being targeted. There's a video I just saw. This happened in North Dakota, where a 25-year-old male got caught running over to a Cybertruck in a Costco parking lot and it looks like he's keying the F. I see a big F, so I don't know if it's a whole word there. And the vehicle's camera belonged to Mitch Benson, and it caught all of this. Caught the man walking towards the Tesla. Well, I think it was a Tesla. I still think it's a Cybertruck. Yeah. Keying the side of the vehicle. A lot for a good amount of time, leaving. Benson was in Costco shopping with his daughter. And the 25-year-old male, from what I understand, has been caught because the video caught him. And he's been caught with felony. He's charged with felony criminal mischief in relation to the incident. I don't know in North Dakota what that entails and how much of what kind of a fine that is. But pretty scary stuff. And right now, people are keen. I saw another video of somebody just walking by, trying to be very sly about it, holding his key out while he walks and keys the side of a Tesla. This is another gentleman. I forget which parking lot this was in, but the camera caught him. And you could see his face clear as day, and you could see him key the whole side of the car. There's a ring camera footage from a house looking at when a vandal who was masked threw a rock at a windshield at a Cybertruck in California and was slashing the tires. This was, I believe, in Novato area near the Bay Area. And he wore a mask, so now these vandals are going to be trying to cover up their identity because these idiots that have, done it, with their thinking, well, nobody's going to see me key a car. There's cameras everywhere, people. And these Teslas and Cybertrucks have cameras on them. So now you're getting caught. Idiots. But people are still, because COVID masks. I tell you, I really didn't like the mask thing. If they weren't N95 respirators and being used properly, now we have criminals just walking around looking like they're worried about COVID. And then they could do whatever with the mask on. And so not all of these criminals that are destroying people's property are getting caught. I hope they do. But to me, one of the biggest stories, and we talked about this when this was first happening, is you might be attacking a vehicle of somebody that is in agreement with you on your opinion of Elon Musk and disliking him. They wouldn't agree for you to be a vandal or a domestic terrorist, but you're actually destroying the property of somebody that might be a fellow Democrat. Now, I'm not saying everybody doing this is Democrat or liberal, but I doubt there's a lot of Republicans who are disliking Elon Musk and going after people's trucks and cars. And so what is so idiotic and stupid about this is you think you're hurting Elon Musk. The sale was made. The person, and they could be Republican, but there's a very good chance they could also be Democrat, already bought you're not hurting Elon Musk. What I think these people want to do is scare people from buying more of these vehicles. Saying, look, if you do, there's a whole army of us that your car will not be safe. And then are they going to take it to another level where this gentleman and his child coming out of Costco, are they going to get hurt? Is somebody going to be hiding behind the car and then attacking them? What's wrong with these people? You dislike Elon Musk so much that you're going to attack somebody who might be of the same political party as you that bought a car when Gavin Newsom and Biden urged it? And the reason why this is so significant is I've said this from the beginning. The day you think that the second you're like, you know what, I'm not the one being persecuted. I know they're just going after Jews, or they're just going after the Republicans, or they're just going after, I'm going to be safe because I'm going to be on this other side. So I'm not going to get canceled. As long as I check the boxes and I do whatever the liberals want, nobody's going to come after me. They're coming after you. There's many liberals that own these cars. Now who's protecting you? You can never be okay with anybody being biased, discriminated, attacked. Because in a heartbeat, it could then turn to you. This is what blows my mind when I hear people talk about what happened with Hamas. And Hamas going in and attacking, killing, raping, beheading babies, and then taking hostages. And people are like, well, that's over there. That you think if Hamas was near, that they could do it to you? You think they like Americans? The reason why we have to be against any terrorism and any discrimination and any bias and racism and bigotry is because if we let that grow, they turn on you. And look at what happened with France. Well, we're going to make a deal with Nazi Germany So we'll be able to keep part of our country. We'll be eventually, no. Germany wanted all of it. Hitler didn't just want Jews. He wanted Christians. He wanted LGBTQAI plus community members. He wanted gypsies killed. Once somebody decides to go after a certain group of people, it's not that much of a mutation for them to decide to turn on another group. Because hate spreads. Hate is like a cancer. And I don't understand why we don't have more Democrats also speaking out on this. It's their cars. Well, they shouldn't have bought a Tesla. Really? Really? No. You need to be against it because it's going to happen to you. What if somebody doesn't like you because you have a Subaru? And the head of Subaru decides to support Trump. Who knows? Whatever. Now you're a target. You have to be against the idea of anybody being targeted. And this is a prime example of people thinking they're safe. They're on one side that will never be attacked or no. Anybody can be a victim. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-910-7500. That's 800-910-7500. Call now to find out how much your case could be worth.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Self-reliance. It's not a phrase we hear much in our culture these days. It might conjure up images of pioneers, the West, rifles, strapping men, and strong women. But what does it mean for us in today's world? The New American Magazine has just released its latest collector's edition, Self-Reliance, Foundation of Freedom. In it, the New American authors outline the necessity of self-reliance for a free people, tips for self-reliant living, and the importance of not giving up hope. This unique edition includes articles on the self-sufficiency of the founders, preparing for a worst-case scenario, firearms, financial self-reliance, the importance of community, and many other topics by expert writers. Now, for a limited time, the New American is offering a bundle of 3 collector's editions, Self-Reliance, The Great Reset, and Trump World, for just $19.95. Available at shopjbs.org. Visit shopjbs.org today.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, 1-877-DOCDALI. So I learned to ski in Lake Tahoe. Skiing, most of my skiing has been done in northern Nevada. And Lake Tahoe has some of the most amazing ski resorts. Sadly, a 7-year-old child has died after she was struck by a boulder. Adeline Grimes of Reno, Nevada, was pronounced dead at Diamond Peak Ski Resort in Incline Village. This is on the north shore of Lake Tahoe at about 3:40 p.m. on Saturday. Ski patrol, everybody rushed to the scene, but they were unable to save the young skier. It was blunt force from this boulder that injured her neck and chest. An investigation is being carried out. It was a non-skiing accident, no foul play. But she was a member of the Sugar Bowl race team and was competing in an under-12 skiing championship at the resort, according to the Rio Gazette-Journal. So as we get some more information, but I mean, just a cute little girl who loved to ski, not sure what happened. There's a GoFundMe account for Sabrina. Oh, I mean, her Aunt Sabina. Sorry, her Aunt Sabina Gimes has established this for Addie. But we'll keep you posted. We also have some breaking news. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Apparently a truck has mowed down multiple pedestrians in downtown Boston. This happened at 12:45, so just about an hour ago at Harrison and Neelan Street in Massachusetts Chinatown neighborhood. 2 people are right now in critical condition. Multiple pedestrians hit by a truck. Boston EMS said 4 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. 2 are in critical condition. 2 more people were treated at the scene, but declined to be taken to the hospital. Unclear whether the collision was intentional, an act of terrorism, or an accident. But you see a truck overturned, and the pictures are showing that it looked like it jumped the curb, and then it turned as it's next to some of the one is Great Wall Kitchen Supply Store. So Penske is an American company which provides truck rentals for moving homes. And you see this Penske truck outside this Great Wall Kitchen Supply Store with debris and flipped on its side. Now, the vehicle was badly damaged. The driver has not been identified. Their condition is unknown. This is breaking news. As soon as we get any more information, we'll share that with you. But just frightening that this type of stuff happens. You know, it could be a medical incident. Could be, they had a heart attack or a stroke when they were driving. But unfortunately, we always need to rule out terrorism. We are being told that an American citizen is being detained in Belarus. And he is being accused of sneaking into the country on a cargo train. Now, unlike the Biden administration, where people sneak in and nothing seems to happen, this American citizen has been detained. And he's 27 years old, unnamed. We don't have his name. He was traveling, allegedly, in an empty carriage of a train from neighboring Lithuania and was found by customs officers in Maladyjenska train station. The man was identified as a border violator, promptly detained by customs officials before being handed over to the Border Service for further investigation. Now, the U.S. State Department has been made aware. They say they are aware of the reports of a U.S. citizen detained in Belarus. In all cases, when a U.S. citizen is arrested abroad, the department monitors the case closely and provides appropriate consular assistance when we are able to do so. They say due to privacy considerations, not much further comment. Now, earlier this year, the Trump administration was able to secure the release of 2 U.S. citizens who were being held prisoner in Belarus. One American who was not named out of a request for privacy was among a group of 3 political prisoners freed in February. And then Anastasia Nufair was released in January. Now, the State Department has advised Americans not to travel to Belarus, citing the Belarusian authorities' arbitrary enforcement of local laws and the risk of detention as key factors. And we know that Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, has been allegedly an ally of Putin, not necessarily very, very pro democracy, and he is cracking down on dissidents and opposition. So he's one of the longest serving leaders of Belarus, I believe, 31 years. And, it's obviously, might not be the safest time to be there. But what a stark change of, compared to America, and people complaining that the Trump administration is cracking down on the border. You are caught on a cargo train and you're with these other countries, just one person. And it's not like the mess we had under Biden. Meanwhile, good news. Illegal boarding crossings have hit a stunning new low. In March, it was down 94%. Now, the New York Post says it's because migrants are, quote, scared. There are consequences now. And, there's always consequences of you coming in illegally. Look at what's happening with Belarus. If these migrants decide to go to Belarus, they're going to be detained. Is America really that much scarier? So 7,000 migrants still tried to enter illegally in March. Not sure how they did not get the memo. But it is down 94% from the 137,000 people that crossed the border last March alone. February crossings were at 8,300 illegal migrants, the lowest in 25 years. So being that it's still a big border and the wall did not get finished because, Biden stopped it, those are pretty damn good numbers. Now, according to a DHS source, migrants are scared. There are consequences now. Everyone who is caught is charged and does time. And I know there's a lot of controversy over that, and people are saying, oh, that's horrible, that's cruel, too. But in any other country, if you go and you sneak in illegally, there are consequences. Nobody's killing them. Nobody's, making them do hard slave labor. But you can't just sneak into a country illegally. If you do anything illegal, there's consequences. Why is that such a shock? Now, let's say you want refugee status. You are trying to escape. There's paths for that. When you're trying to seek asylum, you notify border, but the sneaking in is illegal. Now, where did those 7,000 crossings take place? They said it took place in the San Diego and El Paso border sectors. They say if the border crossings continue to stay at these levels, the U.S. could see the number of illegal migrants hit a low not seen since 1968. And again, I want people to come here who want to be Americans, want to pay taxes, become citizens, want to make America a better place. Now, I love the fact that we are open to immigrants, but they have to do it legally, like my dad had to. And my grandparents had to. I'm a first-generation American by the grace of God and by the grace of the American immigration system. Now, they had to wait 20 years to finally be able to come, but my family was able to come here, and then my dad became a citizen, married my mom, and then had me. So, but where it's been, how it's been the last few years, and I'm just blown away that Biden didn't do jack diddly squat, is Trinidad, gang members, people raping kids. I mean, there were some innocent people, obviously. Now, they're nice people, but when you come across illegally, you have to know that there could be consequences. Hopefully we get our American back from Belarus. 1-877 Dr. Daliah.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.